never had anything handed to us. What I mean by that, even at the time when our father was Prime Minister in Yaoundé, I never spent more than a week of vacation in Yaoundé. I will come for a week, and the next week he sends me back to the farm in Santa. I will work every day, and they'll put a tick across my name. At the end of the holiday, he will look at the number of ticks and determine if you're getting 20 or 25,000.
Are you kidding me?
I'm not kidding you, Tonton. But everybody has something special about them. It's just all about finding it in your mind, first of all, to believe. And that is why I came up with the concept of YouREnough.
From Cameroon to the rest of the world, we're receiving one of the best influential speakers online, and he is a public speaker, a driver of intent for the better. That's how I qualify him. He is somebody you would want to talk with on a daily basis to add value to your life. Behyia is a business performance mindset coach, a new generation of Cameroonians who are turning around the ecosystem of talk, of impact, and of life. We're receiving Gustav today on Suellaba exclusively from my hospital bed, because it's important that I come back to serve. To take you through the drive, Gustav, good afternoon, welcome to Cameroon.
Hey, Tonton B, good afternoon. It's always a great plumping pleasure just getting to see you, but most importantly be in the studio. You know, from the time I was a young man, I've always dreamt of the opportunity to be in the Suellaba studio.
It's a dream come true for me, but it makes me look like an ancestor.
No. You remember you started very early.
Yeah.
You started very early.
Yeah.
So it's been about 25 years for you, but you started somewhere about 20. So you just have grown into the thing. And for some of us like myself, I've been watching you from the time I was in university. You know, I've been watching you even when I had the privilege to travel abroad, and I've been keeping tabs, and it's just so impressive what you've been doing. Being with you in the studio today, just getting to chat on a few things on how we can transform minds, how we can build spirits and get people moving in the direction where we really want the world, and most importantly our nation to be. It's my honor.
Ladies and gentlemen, Gustav Behyia talks, and talks well. And today we'll be talking about the concept of his brand YouREnough right here on his head. You see that? That's what we'll be talking about. We'll be talking about winning in the world, a new world economy. We'll be talking about how African youths can connect with the economic global ecosystem, and then the role of this diaspora, where it's existing, those in America, those in Germany, those in Asia, those in South Africa and South America, how they can contribute to make Cameroon even better.
Absolutely.
So what does Cameroon represent in the life of somebody who is not only an American but is a citizen of the world? Gustav comes here any other time, every other time, and most of the time. We'll be talking to this young man who is not only father of 3 beautiful girls, married for more than 20 years, and is still handsome, very beautiful and handsome. And not only handsome, but is a Bamenda man who's attractive and could be attracted too. So guess what? We'll be talking to that guy. But before we do that, I'd like to remind you, we have Biteka on the other side giving us music. My name is Behyia. I was born to do this. I talk also for a living, but he's one of my sons.
Many years ago, living in a world where, especially with the advent of social media, with the advent of access to telephones and different platforms, there is always that possibility. At that time, especially for some of us who had traveled out of the country, right? So there was always that intimidating possibility of you looking at all these things and getting into a new land, and you feel like, I am not capable. I am not smart enough. I don't have the skill. I don't have the capacity. So I wanted to find something that is a reminder on a daily basis that, listen, wherever you are, with whatever endowment you have, the intellect you have, the skill you have something unique that you can offer to the world. Therefore, you are enough. That's how it came about.
And so far is the world understanding that they are enough? Is everybody you're talking to understanding that you're enough? I mean, basically, I come from a premise of I am enough.
Yeah.
I know that notwithstanding my disabilities, I am enough. Notwithstanding the impossibility of coming from where I'm coming from in Africa, I am enough. And am I understanding you from that perspective too?
Tonton Behyia, you are, and you bring up a very powerful point. You know, a few months ago, I was very, very privileged. You sent me a signed copy of your book, right?
Yeah.
Disabled but able. And I had a chance. I was flying from Austin to Maryland, and I read that book in a single sitting.
For the record, that's flying from Douala to Garoua.
Thank you. And I don't think I've read a single short, concise 100-page piece of content that impacted me like that, because I saw you really bring out the whole idea of finding it within you to tell the world how to look at you. You know, one of the things that jumped out to me, which is very important, because that is the whole idea of You Are Enough. It's not the name they call you, it's the name you answer to.
Amen.
Right?
Amen.
So it is very powerful, especially as you ask me a very simple question. Is the world believing they're enough? That is my goal. My goal is to impact over the next 15 years at least 1 billion people should know about You Are Enough, should understand the message of You Are Enough, and should be able to lean on You Are Enough in times when they feel a little bit less capable, in times when they feel less able, in times when the world might make them feel inferior, or might make them feel like their skill set, their mindset, their ability is not able to drive them there.
Gustav, a lot of people think you cannot tell them that they are enough because you come from, you are a former prime minister's son.
Absolutely.
You are a senator's son parce que tu es le fils d'Achille Achou. You may not know the same challenges like the guy who came from Kumba, the guy who came from the streets of Tico, Seven Door, in Old Town. It's challenging. But a lot of people think, oh no, you have it all. But they don't know the stories of your own brokenness. They don't know your challenges that you face. It's even a problem being actually Achu's son in most cases. So, but it's an advantage also. Come on, Gustav. Are you enough because you are enough, or are you enough because you face some challenges yourself?
I think you bring up a good point, Tonton. And I am enough because I faced a lot of challenges and I found a way through that. But it's important to put some context to that, right?
Bring it on.
Because it's certainly a great privilege to be born by that great man, my number one mentor, the greatest human being I've ever met and been mentored in my life, right? But the important thing is, for those who might even know a little bit about who that man is and about how our family is, we never had anything handed to us. What I mean by that, even at the time when our father was prime minister in Yaoundé, I never spent more than a week of vacation in Yaoundé. I will come for a week, and the next week he sends me back to the farm in Santa. I will work every day, and they'll put a tick across my name. At the end of the holiday, he will look at the number of ticks and determine if you're getting 20 or 25,000. Are
you kidding me?
I'm not kidding you, Tonton Behyia. You can feel my palms. You can tell exactly.
You might be prime minister begin hand strong so.
So, but this is the deal, Tonton. As a young man too, I used to be very frustrated with that because I thought, oh, as a prime minister's son, I should have privileges. But he made it a point, especially for us as children, to never think of ourselves any differently. We grew up farming. We grew up generating the food we eat. There are times in my life, even in our home in Bali Park, we've gone without water, without light. We had to go carry water from the pool.
Are you kidding me?
I'm not kidding, because the truth of the matter is our father also has a history. His life, there are times he's been up, there are times he's been down.
Of course.
Like all of us, we go through those periods. And those were the formative years of my life. Those were the times that reminded me that in life, for everything you get, you got to work for it. So when I talk about You Are Enough, when I come and talk to people about You Are Enough, I'm not talking from a place of privilege. I'm talking from a place of reality. Not only where I was raised, even in my life in America over the last many years. There was a time I filed for bankruptcy. I paid over 100 grand in the courts. I lost all my homes. I had to start up from the ground up. Even when I traveled to America, my first job was working in a nursing home, taking care of older adults, making minimum $10 an hour wage. I don't know if it makes sense. But the one thing that really occurs to me, that really reinforces to me the power of You Are Enough, and which makes me really appreciate the way, right, despite the context of who my father's name was, but the fact that we were able to grow without knowing privilege, is that it gives you that ability, that hunger from within to want to make something of yourself. Because I asked myself a very simple question: who was my grandfather? He was just a regular guy in Santa. So my father probably did something from the ground up And it will be a complete disappointment if for any reason I try to tweak my mindset. On the contrary, instead of understanding the power of work from that. I grew up in CPC Bali. Most of my friends are everyday people. I've sold food in the savon in the market because my mom used to make savon and we sell.
Oh, really?
Third term holidays, she will make sure we do something. Everybody had something to do. Christine will be doing granite sweet. I'll be doing savon. Noella will be doing omo or something, because all those things were intentional.
For the record, these are very beautiful sisters and brothers.
Absolutely.
I mean, sisters especially, because Gustav is the youngest of the very beautiful. Sorry, I mean, he's not the youngest, but he's one of the middle one.
I have many sisters and brothers, as you know.
Exactly. So
Correct.
he is.
I was just giving some.
He's giving you those names there.
Absolutely, Tonton. So that really gave me the ability, number one, to understand that a very important key in life is humility. The ability to be able to understand that everybody has a gift. Everybody has something special about them. It's just all about finding it in your mind, first of all, to believe. And that is why I came up with the concept of YouREnough.
Just to remind you, Gustav was talking about my book that he read, and it's Disabled but Able. And this book is essentially about the same thing. A lot of us, we feel complex when we meet people like Gustav, and we say, oh, your papa be big man, you know, understand what's come out, your papa, you know, if you understand my problem. But I tell you, at all levels, if you want to grow, you should understand that the person talking to you also had his own challenges, and the complexity of each other's brokenness would be better understood if we transcended and we moved against the order of trying to be, let me put it crudely, be jealous of people without knowing their story, or be envious of anybody. So remember, until you understand where this person is, it's only gonna look like it's greener on the other side. But if you understand that this guy also is struggling with the real problems on his own life, then you'll know you are enough.
Absolutely.
That's how I understand you are enough. That's why I understand like an Ebualotin, a Kotobas, or a guy with a disability. I am enough. I have the most beautiful children in the world. I have the most beautiful wife. That is what Gustav is trying to tell you in this concept, if I understand. That no matter where you're coming from, and it just depends on how you set yourself for the world and its challenges, you are going to be ready for it. Gustav is talking to you people, not only here, he's talking to you online. And I want to welcome all of you on the Behyia show today. And welcoming you, I want to talk to you about something. So you live in the diaspora. We believe that sunshine comes there, summer comes with winter, and the whiteness of winter brings in a lot of money. That is a tree that you people pick money. And they believe that you people in the diaspora, you have nothing to do with local Cameroon. The world has become a ChatGPT world. It's become a world where everything is possible. Gustav, what does this diaspora that you represent as one of them bring on the table, in fact, of today's Cameroon, for today's Cameroon, where we see what's happening and we know what's happening? What do you think the diaspora can bring on the table?
Awesome. I think you hit a very important perspective, Tonton. The reason why I say so is because when I look, I've read a lot of books. As you know, I'm a ferocious reader. I don't have cable TV. I've read over 300 books in the last 5 to 6 years, trying to better my mind, understand what it takes to be successful, and also understanding how to build success from the human spirit. And during that process, I also read books about other diaspora communities and the impact they have on their country of birth. The one thing that stood out to me is the fact that every great nation in the world finds a way to align with their diaspora, because the concept of the diaspora for many of the great nations is the diaspora population works as the top, I'll put it in quotes here, the top agents who go out and search and find the way to impact their country of birth. So in my case, I've always looked at myself as a Cameroonian. I've always felt as a Cameroonian. I am a Cameroonian.
Value. Now, we're talking to Gustav B. Achu. I'm just reminding our listeners who this young man is. And Gustav is stealing our show because it's very, very, very open. He's flowing. Gustav used to be one of the best MCs that I think I encourage people to have. But the mindset has changed. The movement has gotten to other things. And we're very glad he's talking to us today, educating us on things that we should be having on the table, discussion to transform the ecosystem and to not only add value to both ends of the discourse, as in his Cameroonian, who is, what Cameroon represents to, but he's talked about that, and he's talked about the role of the diaspora, but he's not talked about how the African youth can also connect with the economic global system.
Okay.
And what are these things? Because I saw you're also an IT magician.
Correct.
I saw you teaching people how to make money since the arrival of Donald Trump, for those of you who don't know, the American president Donald Trump created an opportunity for Americans and the world to tap from the magic of IT. Before Donald Trump, the Democrats brought in a lot of Indians, and the market for business was basically Indian infected or affected or infested. But Donald Trump opened space for a lot of people from Africa, from Nigeria, from Cameroon, and people like you to have a taste to consume local American talent. And from there, I saw a lot of local Cameroonian millionaires rushing into Scrum Master, rushing into firewalling, rushing into data system buildings, and rushing into a new profession. Now, Gustav, what does that represent to you people, these new professions, and how can that add value to the young Cameroonian who's listening to us right now and the young African?
Absolutely, Tonton. I think the value you can add is very powerful. The reason why is, first of all, earlier I talked about the fact that the young people today are very privileged because they have a lot more dexterity and ease of assimilation. Assimilation means assimilating information, assimilating skills, assimilating know-how, right? They are easily more flexible. They can learn computer systems faster. They are more comfortable with those things. So the first thing I tell them is, I said, with the phone and the internet connectivity, you can connect. And I don't say that to be nice. I say that because I live it on a daily basis. I'll give you an example. As you know, I do a lot of speaking, I do a lot of coaching and things like that. I have a YouTube channel, right? And I need graphic designers. I need graphic designers. I need people who design thumbnails for me, people who design flyers for me, people who edit videos for me. And everybody I work with is local in Cameroon or Nigeria. Absolutely. And it's intentional. It's intentional because
all the things on your page, on the
everything I do, my editors,
local guys here?
They are local people in Cameroon. I have 2 people in Nigeria. I have 4 people in Cameroon.
Wow.
Everything about my media, my content, everything is done locally, and it's intentional because I want to prove that we have the skill sets. We need opportunities, and so for those of us who are out there in the diaspora, right? We have to make a conscious effort to bring opportunity and partnership with our brothers and sisters who have the skill set. And the reason why too is because when I engage some of these people to work with, I was open with them. I opened my Fiverr page. Fiverr is a platform where you can get any kind of gig from around the world, from anybody around the world, right? I opened the Fiverr page and I showed them, I said, listen, over the last 2 years, I've spent X thousands of dollars on people from Bangladesh, on people from India. Great stuff, nothing bad with that. But it would not be a bad idea if a portion of that is being spent on designers who are local to Cameroon or to Africa, because that brings in revenue into our economy, it brings in revenue into our systems, and it empowers that group.
So imagine like 7 of you are doing that in one city and a couple of other people from the diaspora are doing the same.
The multiplier effect will be significant. I understand the challenges too. Sometimes you might need a little bit of guidance and training to get the people up to speed. But there is nothing wrong with that. In all jobs I've had in my life, somebody had to train me. Somebody had to give me a chance, right? So to me, it is very, very, I'm passionate about that. I'm intentional about that because the skills are there. So for the young people listening to us right now, I want to advise you to learn some basic computer skills. For example, learn how to design multimedia stuff. Learn about social media management. Learn about video editing, because these are skills that don't necessarily need you to go through a rugged university program, but they are high in demand skills. And the reason why I say so is because I'll give you an example. YouTube platform. YouTube is the second largest search engine in the world. YouTube has 2.4 billion active users a day. All of those users need some kind of service. They need somebody to do a flyer, do a video. Number 3, the content economy today is about $500 billion. They are projecting, it's less than that, but they are projecting that by 2027, the content economy would have hit more than $1 trillion.
So content economy would include everything on social media.
Everything on social media,
everything on, on mainstream.
Yes.
Content would be include recordings, would include everything on LinkedIn,
podcasts,
on all the available YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and you imagine that's massive. So are you going to be part of that traffic or not? That's what he's talking about.
That is the question, right? And as a young person, and that is why I talk about the mindset, because the mindset will be able to start looking at some of these things and saying, you know what, yes, I might not have formal employment today by the government, which is not possible for the government to employ everybody, right? But with my skill set, I can get people who I can provide the services to.
And what are the services you can provide? You can provide video services for TikTok. A lot of us are not educated past 50. We don't know what TikTok is. We don't know that with TikTok you can use for BTL and ATL. Like PR and advertising, you can use them for both outdoor. You can provide content for billboarding. You can get stuff for SMS, bulk SMS communication. You can get stuff for it's a massive opportunity for everybody. For videography, you can create content for people who speak public speaking, how to speak in public, little tips on how to speak in public. You can get stuff for people how to communicate when somebody is dead, how to communicate when somebody is not well, there's a lot of stuff, and that's what he's talking about. And he, from his end, is planning to help you people, not only be partners with you people. And you people, as in the young folk and the people ready to listen, accompany them to make lives even better. We're talking to Gustav Behyia.
Absolutely.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's get some music so I can breathe. There's no water in the studio today. Behyia just decided not to we're doing dry fasting.
That's what it is today.
We're doing dry fasting.
We're doing dry fasting, yes.
We'll be right back. Let's get some music.